Lucy has a question.
Oh, Lucy? All right, Lucy. Let's ask one more question, then we can get started. So, Lucy, you want to start us off?
I wanted to show you my snowflake.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
I was using my space scissors.
Your space scissors. Oh my gosh, space scissors for some snowflakes. We love that. We love that. That's great. Awesome. Okay. So if we're ready to get started, thank you guys so much for sharing your cool little things that's happening. I love that. We love to see it. And today we're going to talk about, drum roll please, human spaceflight, which I think is the coolest out of all the space flights, obviously. But yeah. All right, Angel, you want to go to the next slide? Oh, yes, human spaceflight. All right, we're going to start off with a question. Actually, no, some volunteer intros. So first off, hi, my name is Shivani. I am currently 21 years old, and I can't even count that high with all my fingers and toes combined. But I really love space. I've wanted to be a part of it since I was 6 years old, and I'm so glad to be here and sharing space with y'all today. So I want my other volunteers to introduce themselves because they worked so hard to be here today. And yeah, so Angel, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Angel. I am not as old as Shivani. I'm only 20. I'm not 21, but that is still pretty old. Growing up, I loved math and science and knew that I always wanted to do engineering, and that's kind of how I got into aerospace and the space side of things. So that's about me.
Awesome. And Erica, do you want to go for it?
Hi guys, I'm Erica, and well, I'm probably youngest of all the volunteers here. I'm 18, and well, that's like 10 years or 11 years older than you guys. I also love space a lot. Like you see those rockets that want to be launched into space. I want to be on one of them one day. So I hope you guys will learn something cool about human spaceflight today.
Awesome. And then lastly but not least, Krish.
Hey guys, my name is Krish and I'm also 18 years old. And I really fell in love with space when I saw like rockets landing after they went to space. So it was really cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sharing. Okay, so as a show of hands, I want you guys to show on your fingers how old everyone is here. So if you're 7, hold up 7 fingers. If you're 6, hold up 6 fingers. All right. Very cool, very cool. Alrighty, we got a lot of 8-year-olds here. Yeah, this is awesome. This is the age to learn. This is when a lot of us got inspired to do space. So we're glad that you're joining us today. Alrighty, now I have a question for everyone. So in the chat, oh no! It's okay. So we had a quick question on how many people have gone to space. And I want you guys to put in the chat, even though you may have seen it, what option you think is correct. So how many people do you think have gone to space? Type in A, B, or C into the chat if you can. I wonder what it could be. I think A, all right. I'm gonna need a couple more. So a lot of people think A. Interesting. Guys, C in there too.
I think 10 people went to space.
You think 10 people went to space? Interesting. All right, another A. Okay. Alrighty. So
I'm doing silent language A.
Oh, cool, yeah. All right, so drum roll, please. Da, 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 da. All right, next slide. The option is actually C, 562 people, which is a crazy high number, right? But quite literally since the 50s and 60s, people have been going to space in different types of capsules and different types of missions, etc., right? And there have been people from all different countries too who have ventured out into the wonderful, wonderful unknown. So we have a lot to learn from all these people who have gone to space for different periods of time, and that's something we're going to talk about today. So next slide, please. So we have to ask a quick question to ourselves though. What do we need to live while we're on Earth? Can anybody tell me? Raise your hand if you have a question. You have an answer. All right, I see Nicholas W. What is one thing that we need to live here?
Oh, the W is for Wormowski.
Wormowski. Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
What you need to live is water and food.
Water and food, those are very important. Yeah. Alrighty. Sarah, you have a thumbs up. Does that mean you have an answer? If you have an answer, please do share.
Gravity.
Yeah, we do use gravity a lot. It's nice. It keeps us down in our chairs, keeps us settled. That's very cool. All right. What about Audrey?
Air.
The air, that is true. That is true. You need a mask. Yeah, nowadays we do need masks when we go outside to be safe. All right. How about one more thing? Let's see, I'm going through this slide. Alida, I love that you built your little Lego. That's awesome. All right. Do you have something that we need to live on Earth?
You gotta live on Earth, houses and beds. Don't forget trees, and don't forget food.
Yeah, those are such good suggestions, guys. Thank you so much. All right, we can keep going with the animated slide. Dun, dun, dun. So you guys point out a lot of the big things, right? We need our food, we need our water, we need our houses. Something else we also need is our exercise. So getting up, even though we're stuck at home a lot of the day, sometimes going up, like working up a sweat is very important to keeping healthy. And of course, sleep, as the little pupper is doing here. It's sleeping and it's so cute. So yeah, there's some big things. But when we go to space, we need some very, very different water. That is very important. Thank you very much. When we go to space, we need to readapt to think about how do we carry the things that we need on Earth into space. So next slide, please. Awesome. So this is how kind of astronauts live, right? It looks a little bit different than where we're all sitting right now. So you see in the top left corner, there's a bunch of astronauts enjoying mealtime. And while typically we just have our meals on our little tables, they have to strap it down to make sure it doesn't float off into outer space, right? We need to keep it all down. And then in the top right corner, you see the food. What is different about this food than my snacks at home? Why does it look different? Raise your hand.
Packages.
All in packages, yeah. So in space, because everything that you send up is very, very heavy, we want to minimize or like lessen the amount of mass that we send up. So a lot of scientists engineers pack up the food into freeze-dried containers, and then they hook it up to some water and then rehydrate it. So that's why it looks all gross right now, but hopefully it tastes okay. Hopefully. And then, of course, when you sleep, you need to, since you're floating everywhere, you want to make sure you stay in one place. And then, of course, you also need to maintain your exercise, because when someone pointed out gravity before, which is super, super important, right? Gravity makes sure that our bodies are very healthy and firm, and you have all your muscles where they need to be. But when you're in space, because you're floating around, that can mean that your muscles get less strong as time goes on. So a lot of astronauts need to exercise up to 2 hours a day to make sure they stay healthy. A really fun fact. So the astronaut that's in the bottom right corner, does anybody know who she is? Raise your hand if you know who she is. Let me see if I can raise hands. Alina has a question. Okay, Alina, do you have a question?
Ms. Zeman?
Ms. Zeman? I don't believe so, no. So her name's actually Sunita. That's a good guess. So her name is Sunita Williams. And she decided that she wanted to run the Boston Marathon when she was on Earth. But at the time that was happening on Earth, she was actually headed up to go to the International Space Station. So when she was in space, she ran the Boston Marathon on her exercise machine. Isn't that so cool? She took an activity that she loved on Earth and she was able to carry it to space. That's crazy. But yes. All right, so next slide. So someone pointed out earlier, you need your houses when you're on Earth. And that's what habitats are. Basically your houses, your lovely, lovely home in space. So can anybody tell me what is one habitat that's already in space? I wonder what it could be. Raise your hand if you have an idea. What is one habitat that's already in space?
International Space Station.
Yes, thank you. All right, we can go to the next slide. Yes, so the International Space Station is one of the best and most important science experiments and space stations, obviously, of the space industry. So it's been there have been people on it for 20 years continuously. So there's never been a moment where there wasn't someone on the International Space Station, which is crazy. The ISS is the size of a football field, so 357 feet. Has anybody ever run a football field before? Run across a football field? I have. You have? Yeah? It's taken a long time, and that's how long the International Space Station is. So it's definitely a very, very big. Give me 1 second, sorry. All right, so cool. Also, if you guys could be careful about the chat. So once we're listening to your presentation, just so that we don't distract our fellow learners here, we don't want to spam the chat. But if you have a question, just raise your hand, and then I will be able to call on you. So yeah. Okay, so it didn't just take the US, it took 16 countries to make this happen. So a lot of international collaboration, all these different people came together to make it possible, but not all at once. So there are various missions throughout the many, many years that space shuttles and other groups needed to bring up different components to construct the space station that we know and love today. And over 240 people have visited the space station. So out of the 562, almost a little less than half I visited there. Just crazy. That takes up a huge amount of the astronauts, cosmonauts, and everyone else that has joined during that time. So yeah. Alrighty. So a lot of things are different in space, obviously, but one of the coolest things that I think is different is sleeping in space. So what looks different about this picture than the bed that we have at home? What's different about it? Tanner, Elijah, you had your hand raised.
They don't have legs to hold their bed up.
Exactly, yeah. So instead of having like your standard bed with your 4 little legs and then a nice mattress, they are attached to the wall. Why do you guys think that is?
Because they won't float away.
Exactly. The same way that everything on the International Space Station is attached to a wall or a side or whatever it may be, they don't want to float away when they're sleeping, obviously, because that would be a little bit scarier than sleepwalking. We don't want that. So they have to put themselves in little sleeping bags and attach themselves to the wall. And as you can see on the picture on the left, this is what an actual compartment looks like. So they have like a little cubicle. It looks like a little closet, right? And a little flag, some pictures of the astronaut's family, a little desk for their laptop, and all this padding. So this padding is actually very useful because there's a lot of radiation in space. So a lot of little rays are trying to get to you. So this padding helps you protect you from that. So yeah, would you guys like to sleep this way? Do you think they'll be okay? Yes or no? Shake your head if you think no. Say yes if you think it's cool. There's a lot of no's.
It looks really cool.
It looks really cool, yes. I will say that I can sleep. I think I could sleep in there because I can sleep just about anywhere. But yeah, I don't know. Take a nap right now in the International Space Station. That sounds pretty nice. But yeah. All right, Jack, you raised your hand? Jack, yep, you can go ahead and ask your question.
I watched that video today.
All right.
The video right there. It was from when I had my first class.
Oh, how cool. You get to see Simon 2 times a day. That's great. We love that. But yeah, okay, so a large part of...
Actually, I watched that video before.
Awesome. That's so cool. So you get to watch it again with a lot of... I mean, there's never enough slime, I would say. But yeah, so we did talk about sleep. That's an important part of being healthy and staying well in space. But a large part of every astronaut's job is doing science. So a lot of people who train to be astronauts are typically military pilots. So they fly really, really fast planes and are ready to handle some really scary stuff. But a lot of them are also scientists who really want to learn more about what happens to the standard things that happen on Earth, but in microgravity or without zero gravity. So a couple cool experiments include they have a lot of mice, they have a lot of worms on the space station. They want to see what happens with other life forms when they're in that kind of environment. They have hydroponics, which I think is really cool. Obviously, vegetables can be kind of gross sometimes, just a little bit, but would you guys eat vegetables if it was grown on the International Space Station? Yeah? I think space spinach is way cooler than regular spinach, just saying. But hydroponics is essentially a way to do that. They, instead of having soil, solid stuff, they have water running under these plants. We're filled with nutrients. So it grows the plants from a totally different perspective in a different way, which is a very cool experiment that they're currently working on. They have been working on for a very long time. They also do human studies to experiment on how humans live in space. There's one with Scott and Mark Kelly. They were twin astronauts. And when Scott Kelly went up to the International Space Station for a year, they studied everything that happened to him and his body, and then compared it to what was happening to Mark's body on Earth. And then they compared it. And since they were twins, it was a totally unique, totally crazy experiment that produced a lot of information for human studies in space. So very cool stuff. And of course, they do have some fun times, as you guys probably saw the video. But we're going to go ahead and play it for everyone here today. So, Angel, can you go ahead and play that, please? Thank you.
Possibly go wrong.
3, 2, 1, blast off!
No!
We had a jet already. Wow, good thing we have goggles. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I can't see them! I can't see them! Oh! You've been slimed.
Oh. Whoa!
Uh-oh, we got a getaway slime. We got a getaway slime. Grabbing it.
Got it.
Oh.
I have about 4-5 centimeters going.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
That is so awesome! Don't get too close. Or you ready to move back?
Yep.
Okay. Here it comes.
Wow.
Houston, we have a slime bub.
Okay, let's
Well
make.
done.
It is a perfect sphere. I think we should keep our little friend, the slime ball, around.
Yeah. We should give it a name.
We just need to have a slime sitter. Someone to watch it, care for it.
Awesome. I mean, I think slime sitter on the International Space Station, that sounds like a pretty cool job. But yeah. All right, next slide, please.
I want to be a slime sitter.
You want to be a slime sitter? Raise your hand if you guys would want to be a slime sitter.
Me.
Raise your hand really high. Yep. That's great. That's great. Awesome. And of course, there's also free time on the International Space Station so that astronauts can enjoy all the cool perks of being in zero gravity. So yeah. That looks really, really fun. I'm excited for that. Alita, you raise your hand?
My name is not Edia Lindsay. It's Catalea, or you could call me Cece.
Cece? All right, Cece, sorry about that. Thank you for sharing your name. That's very nice.
Every teacher calls me Elida. Why?
Sorry, but Cece, now we know. So thank you very much for sharing. Awesome. Okay, so next slide. So even though we're college students and we're still learning our way to get to our future jobs in the space industry, there's a lot of things college students can do. And once you guys work your way towards this kind of career, you can learn too. So we're working on a project called Rascal, which is essentially this huge competition across all these different colleges in the US who design different habitats, different space stations that could perhaps help people go to the moon, to Mars, and beyond. So last year, the team that was from our group designed a long-term human habitat to go to Mars. Actually, no, this is a few years ago. But each year we're doing something different. This year we're working on a lunar habitat that's actually on the surface. So we have to design it so that it'd be safe for people to use. Is that pretty cool? Raise your hand. Yeah? Thumbs up if you'd want to work on something like that.
Me.
Yeah? We love that. We love to hear it. Awesome. Okay. So next we're going to go to spacesuits. So just like habitats were our house that keep us protected from the environment of space, our spacesuits are kind of like our clothes that we wear for different points in time. So when it gets really, really cold, there's a lot of snow. What do we wear?
Snow pants and snow boots.
Snow pants and snow boots. When it gets really, really warm, what is something we put on?
Tank tops and shorts.
That's true. That's true. Exactly. So just like that, spacesuits are designed to protect us from the environment no matter what the situation is. The next slide, please. Awesome. So spacesuits, their main task is to keep a human alive in space. Like they said, they provide life support and they allow you to work and play and just live in space. They have changed a lot since the very beginning of sending people beyond into the unknown, right? So back in the day, they had one suit for all your tasks. And that's something that was like the Apollo suit, which is on the right side. It's very big, it's very bulky. You've seen it a lot in all the famous pictures when they sent it to the moon, etc. But now there are different suits for different situations. So as you can see here, there's the Orion Crew Survival Suit. So that's part of the project of Artemis, which is sending the first woman and next man to the moon. Orion is one part of that big project. There's EXEMU suit. There's a lot of videos on YouTube and the internet that have a lot of cool explanations on what all it went into. And then there's the Mark III suit as well. So the girl that's in that picture right now, her name's Courtney, and she is the leader of this entire week. She's the one that organized all this stuff for you, and she actually worked at Johnson Space Center down in Houston, working on spacesuits. She's so cool, and you guys can do that too one day if that's what you want to do. So yeah, go for it. So there's different components of a good spacesuit. So the Apollo boots, for instance, when you're landing on the moon dust can be really sharp and really dangerous. Therefore, you have to design everything on the exterior of your spacesuit to protect you from those sharp little particles. The Apollo boots were really important again for walking on that surface. Make sure you have you don't keep slipping and sliding. You can stay in place. And then your helmet and torso allow you to see around yourself even more than the Apollo suits did. And that was a huge thing called human factors. So human factors is this field that helps people learn more about how to design an object around a human and make it safer for a human to use. So yeah. Next. All right. So and then the gloves are kind of have the same idea as the boots, right? You want to protect yourself from all that lunar dust. You want to keep it pressurized on the inside so that you have the air and the pressure necessary to move your hands properly. But they can be kind of tough. So a lot of people have to do a lot of strength training going like this to make sure their fingers are strong enough to move in gloves. So can everybody do this real quick? It's pretty easy for everyone to move their fingers right now, right? But imagine you had a set of gloves on, it would just move so much slower than everything else. Something people prepare for. So yeah, and then life support is something we're gonna talk about next. So life support, we talked about habitats, our house, spacesuits, our protective clothing, and life support is our backpack. I actually have my backpack right here, right? Does everybody have their backpack next to them? Yeah, so your backpack, everything that you pack in here is essentially keeps you safe and keeps you ready for whatever situation when you go to school or go wherever, right? So our life support essentially is that backpack in space. Next slide, please. And that falls under a subsystem. There's a lot of systems when it comes to human spaceflight, whether it be power, thermal, electrical, whatever it may be, right? But ECLSS, which is what we call, what we named environmental control and life support systems, encompasses all the stuff that goes into keeping the human alive. It helps control the air, the water, and the cooling for when the astronaut is in the suits. So in the middle, you can see that they took apart the Apollo 11 suit, and you can see the top portion is your ops, which means operation. That's how they are able to communicate with Houston, where the Mission Control Center is. And then the rest is just a lot of other stuff related to keeping you cool, hydrated, and safe from the elements outside. And then on the very right, they took it apart even more, so you can see all the cool wires and gadgets that go inside, keeping that stuff good. And then on the very left, last picture, is this little piece that actually Courtney designed. So like we just talked about before, Courtney was at Johnson Space Center working on spacesuits. And one of her jobs was to fix a problem that they've been having. So there's a lot of plugs, obviously, on this Eclipse system. And sometimes they would just come apart when there was too much movement in the spacesuit. So she used something called CAD, so computer-aided design, basically designing some object on a computer, and then used a 3D printer and printed out her design for something that could keep those two plugs together. And that was with a little black piece in that little plug area. She designed that, and that's something they're going to use on the spacesuit, hopefully. Isn't that cool? She's someone that's not much older than us, and she worked on something that's probably going to go to the moon. Yeah? Would you guys want to design something that goes to the moon? Thumbs up if you do.
Awesome.
Awesome? Yes, we love that. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much our presentation. So what are the 3 categories that we talked about today? Raise your hand to name one of them. Let's see. Cece?
Well, it's not about it. It's a question.
It's a question? Yeah.
Why they're gonna use glasses? The glasses for their face.
Why do astronauts need glasses for their face?
No. I mean, for the one you can see glass for your face, oval.
On the spacesuit?
The glass circle.
Oh, the glass circle, yes. So, all right, Angel, could you move back to that slide, please? Go one more, I believe. Yes, so that one, right? Yeah, so they designed something totally new. It looks kind of like a bubble. So you're like a little fish in a fishbowl, right? And the point of making that was that in the old Apollo suits, because a lot of it was very limited, they couldn't see much further than where their feet were, right? And that was kind of dangerous because sometimes there could be rocky bits here and there on the moon or on Mars, and you don't want to trip over them. So they designed this new bubble so that you can see more around you and essentially move safer around. It's a very cool design. Very good thing to point out. Thank you, Cece. All right.
Hey, Audrey, did you have a question?
Why does the moon have so much dust?
That's a good question. Angel, do you want to take that?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. The dust actually comes from meteorite impacts and from like lunar rocks and stuff over the years. And so they've kind of, as the moon was forming, actually, there's like vapor and just the air around it starts to kind of settle back on the ground, which over the years has turned into dust, which is what we have on the moon now.
Awesome, thank you. We talked a little bit about that on the Monday session, right? About moon craters and how they form. So that's part of the reason that there are so many craters, but also meteorites that hit the moon and there's dust. Yeah. All right. Do you have any other questions right now? I saw a couple raised hands here and there.
Sarah,
go for it.
How does the moon glow?
How does the moon glow? Dang, okay, that's a really good question. All right, so the moon technically doesn't have any light of its own, right? But because of the orientation, or so where the Earth is, where the sun is, and then where the moon is, it will reflect the light that comes from the sun, and then that light hits us and hits our eyeballs, and that's how we see the moon glowing, right? So it's not really the moon itself that glows, it's the light that reflects off. That's a very, very good question. All right, Eleanor had a question, I believe, too.
Like, how do you wear glasses in space?
How do you wear glasses? Oh, that's a good question, actually. That leads to a very important topic. I mean, some people just carry their actual glasses when they get there. a lot of astronauts, part of the requirement is to have really, really good vision so they can see everything that's going on. But actually, when you go to space, because of the same way that your muscles get less strong because you're in that zero gravity environment, your eyes also become a little bit, they worsen in their sight. So that's why people actually have to carry glasses with them to correct that vision that they know is going to happen in space. Does that answer your question? Is that okay?
Yes, but like, how do you wear the glasses?
How do you wear the glasses?
Yeah.
I think you wear them just as you do on Earth. You may have so I have glasses here, right? Some people have little loops that attach to here, so that when you put it on, it wraps around your head so that it doesn't float away.
Yeah. I was like wondering how they weared it without them floating away.
That's a very, very good thing. That's a very engineering mindset to make sure they don't float away. Good job. Awesome. All right, any other questions right now? So I'm just moving through the videos. All right, Audrey, you have another question?
Why is everything in our solar system sphere shaped?
Ooh, that is some big questions. Erica, do you want to go for it?
Well, I honestly I'm not very sure. It's partially because of the gravitational force, right? It makes everything around it have like the equal force around that center. So imagine like this is the center of the earth.
Erica, I think you muted yourself, sorry.
All right. Right. If this is the center of the earth, everything has the same attraction to the middle of it. So if the forces, well, if the pull of the object to the center is the same, then they will form like equal distance around it, and that's why it looks like a sphere. I think.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you. Awesome. All right. I think Marius has a question too. Marius, you want to go for it?
Who creates the moon?
Can you repeat that, please?
Who creates the moon?
Who made the moon? Oh, okay, yeah. So that's a really good scientific question because a lot of scientists are not quite sure yet how that happened. But one of the biggest theories that we have, and again, that's how scientists work, right? They make a hypothesis, what they think is going to happen based on their given information. They do an experiment, which is kind of hard with the moon, obviously. But then they make theories. So the theory right now is that there was a collision with Earth. So Earth probably used to be much bigger than it actually was. And as Erica's demonstrating, it hit, and they think parts of it broke apart and started forming the moon. And so that's why this theory is explained more because the Earth is actually tilted a little bit. That's why everyone has different seasons at different times, right? There's a little bit of a tilt. So that's part of the reason why they think it actually broke off from Earth as opposed to being from just a random object in space. Does that answer your question? Thumbs up if it does. All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Lucy, do you have a question?
What are the badges thing?
Yes. That's a great question. That's actually our activity for today. It's mission patch making. So all these amazing missions that took people farther than we ever thought they could go, they were always backed by a certain mission patch. So you see in the top right corner, there's the Apollo 11 one. Interesting fact. So the astronauts that went to the moon for the first time and landed on the moon for the first time, they said that they didn't want their names on the patch because they believed it was for everyone on Earth. They believed it was for humanity. That's why they wanted to land on the moon. So that's why they didn't have any names on it, which is great. And the bottom, you can see something called, a company called SpaceX. They're launching all these different rockets, sending up these brand new crew capsules, all this cool stuff. So they're making patches of their own. And then on the very left, you see all these creative patches that someone made online about all these cool satellite missions, and one for NASA in general. So mission patches revolve around one, where do you want to go? What is your destination? 2, what do you want to do when you get there? What kind of science are you going to do? What kind of activities are you going to carry out? And lastly, you just want to be creative, so make it your own. And so that's going to be the activity for today. But before we get started with that, I think Jack had a
Are
question.
we making our own badges?
We are making our own badges. That's so exciting, right? I actually have some badges here. What's up? So I actually have some badges here. So while space missions have really cool badges, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the air side. So there's a lot of cool jets and stuff. So I have some jet patches from cool jet fighters here. Those are some examples. I also have one from a space shuttle, which is so cool. It's a sticker actually, so I should really put it on my laptop. It's so cool. And then I had one that my brother made me actually, and it's of a little astronaut. So yeah. The point of this activity is to be super creative. Let your brain juices flow. I want you guys to draw a mission patch. And then at the end of the session, we're going to talk about it, and then you can share yours if you want to. Sound good? Erica, you have a patch too?
It's not really a patch. It's kind of like a coin, but you know, it's kind of like a design, something that looks cool like that.
Awesome. So thank you, Erica, for sharing. So we are going to get started with the activity. So if you have a piece of paper available and a lot of markers, I just want you guys to draw a cool mission patch that represents where you want to go, what you want to do, make it as colorful as you want it to be. But in the meantime, we'll also be answering questions. So yeah, if you have any questions, keep raising your hand and we can answer that during this activity time.
Hey, Jack, do you want to ask your question right now?
Raise your hand. To school on Monday.
Jack's a little busy, but I'm so welcome to ask him that.
Lucy has a question, I think.
This is
Sorry, Lucy?
this week.
Oh, this is just this week?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't forget. Okay.
Lucy?
Never mind.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thanks, Chris. All right, anybody else have any big questions? All right.
Audrey,
Audrey?
I have a question.
Yes.
What are they supposed to do on the piece of paper?
Oh, so we're just making mission patches. So essentially just take a piece of paper and then design a mission patch around wherever you'd want to go, whether it be Mars, the moon, and just make it creative. It's a fun activity.
Okay, just draw a picture of Mars or Venus or whatever on your paper.
Awesome, yeah. All right, I have a question for you guys though. Raise your hand if you'd want to be the first person on Mars. I see a lot of raised hands. Very cool. All right, Chris pointed this out earlier, but would you want to be on the first colony on Mars?
What?
Very cool. The first colony. So after people get settled there, we're gonna start hopefully making civilization. So a little town on Mars. But yeah, I think a lot of people would want to be a part of that, right? Does that sound pretty cool? Awesome. All right, I think I'm gonna work on my patch too. You guys are probably way better artists than me, so can't wait to see your designs. Yeah. What could it be? I think I'm gonna do the moon. Pretty good circle. Okay. And is that your mission patch? Hey, that's wonderful. Awesome. Do you want to tell us about it? What's it for?
It's the moon planet.
Moon planet? Nice. So you want to send a mission to the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Awesome. That's so great. Thank you. Also, you guys are welcome to ask questions and then share your mission patches too. Totally up to you guys.
Hey, Shivani, I have a question.
Erica, what is your question?
So you said that in our backpack, we need to bring the air that we breathe around, right? Because there's no air in the space. Then how long can that air last for?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Really is. All right, so there's a difference between air that's kept on the International Space Station, so in a habitat, versus your spacesuit. So there's a reason that EVAs can only last so long, right? Because you have a certain amount of oxygen. Well, I don't know the amount off the top of my head. There is a finite amount, but on the International Space Station, because they need to live there for so many months or so many years, they have different what do you call it? Revitalization is a big word. Essentially, they just recycle your air, right? And they make sure it's breathable. And that system keeps you going. And that falls actually under ECLS. So to answer your question really quickly, spacesuits have little canisters for your air, but it's finite. But International Space Station has a system that keeps creating air for you to breathe. That's a great question. Thank you, Erica.
I believe spacesuits, just to give like a more specific answer, I think it's 6 to 8 hours is like the actual limit. And they try not to go past like that though, like any close to 6 hours.
Thank you, Angel. Bringing in those stats. We love it. This is great. So, although we're all working on our mission patch, this is great. A lot of focus.
Okay, I made my badge. We are doing the activity. Are people working? What?
Sorry, everyone cut out a little bit. Making sure my internet's kind of bad. But Jack, could you repeat your thing? Did you finish your badge?
Done with my badge.
Yes, oh, you picked
Yeah. I made a badge with a rocket ship and the whole solar system.
That's amazing. We love that. Good job, Jack. All right, Marius, I think you had your hand raised too.
Yeah. Can I show you my badge?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want to see your badge.
It's for the sun.
It's for the sun? Oh, that is so cool. Awesome. Yeah.
I've got 2 of my badges done.
Yeah, 2 of your badges done. Do you want to share them?
So one of them's a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
And another one is a rocket shooting to Mars.
Rocket going to Mars? That's amazing. We love that. Also, you guys are welcome to make more than one badge because there's so many missions to do in the world. There's so many things to explore. I want you guys to keep going for it.
And the next one, I'm going to have the sun on it.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you guys know of any, obviously there's no human missions to the sun, but any missions to the sun that you've heard of before? Well, there's a really cool one called Parker's Solar Probe. It just recently lifted off, and it's going to get closer to the sun than anything has before, and collect all this cool information for scientists to use on Earth. Yeah. All right, Artemis, you had a question?
Can I search mine?
Go for it. Oh my gosh, that's lovely. How colorful, how vibrant. We love it. It's great. Alrighty. Any volunteers are working on their badges? Because I have a circle. That's all we have right now.
I think I'm ready to show mine.
Angela, please do.
Okay. I'm very fond of this. I decided to base mine off of human space flight. So, can you see? Got a little astronaut, and I drew a little rocket, and there's Earth, and I drew Saturn, and then there's a bunch of stars in the background.
I made the second one.
That's awesome, Angel. Thank you so much. All right, Jack, you also have one?
person on the moon.
Ah, yeah.
Made it to the moon.
First time we made it to the moon?
Yeah. I wasn't actually. I wasn't actually. You said we could make whatever badge we kind of that we wanted to make.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. You guys are being so creative and exciting. That's so cool. Thank you for sharing.
Hey, Sarah, do you want to share a badge?
Ooh, yes.
I made 3.
You made 3 badges? Oh, I want to see all 3 of them.
Being the first vampire.
All right, very cool.
Being the first one on the moon.
Cool.
And having the littlest pumpkin on Earth.
That's awesome. Maybe it'll be a littlest pumpkin on the moon too. That's great. We love that. All right, Michael. I think you want to show your mission badges.
I only drew one badge, and I call it the Patch of Patches.
Patch of Patches? Oh, that's a pretty cool name. All right, go for it.
Look at it. See, it looks like tons of patches.
Oh, that's so creative. Oh, we love that. Because there's so many different patches you'll probably work on when you go into the space industry. You'll work on all these different projects. So having a patch of patches, that's a great idea. Awesome. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Michael, do you have something to say?
Okay.
Awesome. All right, Lisa, do you want to go for it?
What did you say?
How do you pronounce your name? Could you say your name for me?
Liesel.
Liesel? Okay, awesome. Thank you. That's a very wonderful name. Do you have a question or do you want to share your mission patch?
Yeah. It's a person on Mars.
It's a person on Mars? Ah, that's great. Is that you? You're the first person on Mars? I think that's a yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
I'm going to go ahead and show you my badge.
Awesome. I'd love to see it. Oh my gosh. All right. Tell us about it. Where's it go? It's very nicely drawn. I like it. Good job, guys. All right. I think Tanner and Elijah are raising their hand too.
Here's my badge.
Awesome. Tell us about your badge.
What planet I want to go to is the moon, and this is a little rocket ship here, and this is the name of the rocket.
Awesome. Wait, so what's the name of the rocket then?
NASA.
NASA? Oh, awesome. We love that. It's so creative, so detailed. Great.
All right, Tanner.
So, this is my badge. Because I want to be the first person on Mars.
Ah, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I wanted, I love Mars because it's my favorite planet.
Your favorite planet? Oh, then you can be the first person on your favorite planet. That sounds great. We love that. Awesome. We have to get all your signatures so that we get the signature from the first people on Mars, which is basically this entire group. Oh, that's awesome. But thank you guys for sharing. Alrighty, my circle is still here. This is where we're at. I guess my drawing skills are not that great, but it's okay. It's okay. All right. 1 second. I think Eleanor had raised her hand too. Eleanor, do you wanna go for it?
Yeah. I made a note of things that we know, but it's not an actual note because I don't know how to read.
It's all good. All right. What do you want to share about it though? Share about your note.
So what I pretend to wrote is we know only a little bit about space and that we're hoping to go to Mars and like be able to live in Mars.
Exactly. Those are some really good points, right? So while the universe is so big and there's been so many people in space, there's still so much to learn that we haven't done already, right? So because of that, we need to send more people to the moon, to Mars, to keep learning so much more. Yeah. All right, we have 2 people that raise their hands.
And also, there's some badges that I want to show you.
Absolutely, yeah.
I made a badge at the International Space Station as good as I can make it. And a rocket going to space.
Mm-hmm.
The sun. And the Milky Way galaxy in the solar system.
These are some incredible badges. Oh my gosh, you have to frame them at some point because you have all your badges.
You see all of mine? I made 3 of them.
You made 4 of them? That's also great.
And
all these badges. Those are beautiful. I love them. They're great. Awesome. All right, I think 2 people raise your hands. Laura, do you want to go for it? Where's Alora? Oh, she might have left the call. Okay, so, Alora, do you want to say your question or share your badge?
My name is Eliora.
Eliora, I'm so sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Thanks.
Badges.
Yep, show your badges. I would love to see them.
So this one is for 30 days on the moon.
Ooh, okay. Could you put it next to the camera so we can see it? Oh, that's lovely. Very cool, very cool.
And then this one is for her joining NASA.
Exactly. Joining NASA and 30 Days on the Moon. These are great patch designs and great patch ideas. We love it. Alrighty. We have about 3-ish minutes left, so keep in mind. Okay. Where's I miss? Cece. I think you haven't got a while.
I just want to show my for my 4 badges I made.
Absolutely, we want to see them.
This is a where did you go back home to Mars?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how did you go to how long you go to the moon?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you go to the rocket ship to the I don't know, but this is the rocket ship to how to go to the moon.
Those are some amazing patches. We love that. That is great. Alrighty, next person. Alright, Artemis.
Why in our galaxy the Milky Way?
Milky Way? I don't even know why it's named the Milky Way, actually. It's interesting. All I know that it makes really good chocolate bar. Who likes the Milky Way here? Like the Milky Way chocolate bar. In general, I like the chocolate bars in general, so that's good. So yeah, very cool. I actually don't know. Does anybody want to jump in on that? Why it's named the Milky Way?
I mean, it looks kind of milky, right? It's white.
Yeah, that's probably why.
A lot of things in space actually are based off of like Greek mythology. So that's why, like, for example, Mars's moons, Phobos and Deimos, Deimos, those are both, Greek mythology names, along with the planets. Mars is named after, I think, the god of war from Greek mythology. Yeah, so if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure the Milky Way galaxy is based off of, I think, like Greek goddess. I don't remember who, but a lot of things in space are based off of Greek mythology names. So
yeah, it's cool stuff. All right, Audrey, do you have a question?
Can I share my badges?
Absolutely, yes.
This is me coming from Earth and going to the moon.
my gosh. And this one is me coming from the moon, going to Jupiter, and then to Mars.
Oh my gosh, a little flyby all the way around Jupiter. That's great. Hitting multiple planets and within one trip. That's great. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Jack, you raise your hand.
Still need to cover this one. I'm gonna add
Time's up in our Zoom call, I know.
Could you repeat your question, please?
Could we go now?
Yeah. So thank you guys for a really great session. If you have any more questions, feel free to stay on. We can answer them before you go, but thank you guys for coming. Wait, before you guys go, can I take a picture if that's okay? So I want everyone to hold up their mission patches. Not my circle. My circle's kind of boring, but yours are way cooler than mine. I just want to hear everyone's. So 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Awesome. We love that. All right. So if you guys got to go, that's totally fair. Thank you guys for coming. And if you have any questions, you can stay on and ask.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Again, if you have any questions, just let us know. Michael, did you have a question?
Look at my new patch.
Ooh, is that the extra patches of patches? Patch of patches?
No, it's the same old patch, just I add on to it to make it the patches of patches to the ultra patch.
The ultra patch. That sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
Because it's two patches I made combined together with only using tape.
Fantastic. We love
I
that.
took away the patches of the patch of patches, except now it's the ultra patch.
Ultra patch. That's a really epic name. I like that. That's cool.
And the ultra patch of patches.
The ultra patch of patches. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yep. Lucy had a question?
Is it gonna go on any other time and not just for this week?
So Illinois Space Week is ending tomorrow. Unfortunately, we had a wonderful time hanging out with you guys. We do have a session tomorrow where we're gonna have a lot of our volunteers speak on a panel, and they can talk about how they learned that they love space and how they're moving forward into space. Tomorrow's is the last session, sadly.
When is it gonna
What
stop?
time tomorrow?
1 p.m. I think is like the normal session time.
Okay.
So yeah. And all the stuff will be recorded and then we'll put it on our YouTube channel. So if you just type in or have a parent type in Illinois Space Society, you can access all these videos and keep learning some new cool stuff. Yeah?
And I wanted to show you my badge.
Absolutely, yes. Go for it. Oh my gosh.
There's me. I wanted to go to Saturn.
Want to go to Saturn? That is a cool destination. I like that. I like that a lot.
You guys can repeat Illinois Space what?
Illinois Space Society.
Society. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming, Lucy. We'll see you tomorrow, though.
We don't know yet because she'll be at home and her mom's away, so I don't know where her dad's going. But I'm sending it out to him now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for doing that for us.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you for being an awesome participant, Lucy. You rock.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
Turn out. Everybody ready for lunch?
Thanks.
Time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. I can't. Kids are so cute.
They're adorable.
All right. Thank you guys for staying overtime. I do want to take a group picture if that is okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Thank you guys for being so so on top of it. I hope you guys had fun.
That's great.
Yeah. Cool. Also, Krish was like on top of the questions, like mad respect.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then if if you guys want to tune into the panel tomorrow, you're more than welcome to. Just listen to all other nerds in the society talk about their lives, which is cool stuff. So yeah. All right. Thank you guys for being awesome. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.